Hello and welcome everyone back to my channel and welcome back to my Dune Awakening content. So following the development and the release and the work that's gone into Dune Awakening after release has been the gift that just keeps on giving. Every day it seems like we get hit with a new announcement or some new information or some things that they're fixing, and it just seems like this studio is just really on fire. They're really doing things and keeping up with the development of the game and releasing new content and keeping it live and fresh for us. Today, we were greeted with this announcement. Nobody knew this was coming, as far as I knew. I didn't see a peep in the community about this until just today. They just dropped this bomb on us and they're like, hey, by the way, we have a new public test client that goes live today. I'm like, what? They said, we're happy to announce that we have opened a new separate client on Steam. It's automatically granted to anyone who has purchased or has a license to play the game, and it's called Dune Awakening Public Test Client. There, we will share larger patches ahead of time so that we can identify any significant issues before rolling them out to the main client. We're launching this public client test initiative today with the upcoming patch 1.1.1 or 0.10.0. This is our first major patch since launching the game, and it contains many changes, fixes, and improvements. It's just insane the amount of things that are in this patch. You'll see. I'll show you here in just a minute. I can't talk about it all. There's just so much. To ensure a smooth rollout in a few weeks, we're sharing an early version of the patch in the public test realm. Those of you who are willing can try it out and help us spot any technical issues. So what you need to understand is this is going to be a testing server that they're releasing. They have said that they will save your progress so that you don't have to start over every single time you test something. But this is not going to be a situation of the test server is going to be live at all times. It's only going to be live whenever they need to test a content update that they're going to release, and it will probably be made available a week to 2 weeks beforehand so that people can have a chance to test the content, let them know of any glaring issues that they may have missed that they find, and that way they can fix them before they go live with their new content patch. This is a great idea. This also gives people something really interesting and fun to do because they can see the new shiny ahead of time and they can get in there and kind of test it out and maybe find some cool strategies for their guild and help them be relevant, that kind of thing. So this is a win-win for players. It's a win for Funcom. It's just basically a win all the way around. So right now, as of today, the day that they dropped this announcement, this test realm is live. So if you want to go there, see what the new deep desert changes are going to be like and all those kinds of things, you're welcome to get on there and try it. And if you find anything that seems to be a problem, be sure to let Funcom know so they can try to get it fixed before it goes live. Now, talking about the patch notes for this patch that's coming out after the testing is done. Not really sure when it's going to come out, but based on the wording of how the test server is going to work, it seems like it will be a few weeks, probably 3 to 4 to 5 weeks, I would guess, to give them time to test this patch and make sure everything is hunky-dory before they decide to bring it live. And as you can see, there is so much stuff in this update. So many things are getting updated, fixed, changed. It's just crazy. I couldn't go over all this in a 4-hour long video if I wanted to. I mean, there's just so many things revolving around so many different areas of the game. Like, for instance, we have story, journey, and new player experience. We have world building and exploration, vehicles, abilities, combat, resources, building and crafting, technical instability, audio, graphics. I mean, then the list just goes on and on. User interface, story, journey, and new player experience. Again, world building, and it's crazy. There's so many things that are going on in this update that you would just have to sit down and just grab you a sandwich and a Coke and sit down and just go through it, because it's going to take you a while. Some of the highlights, though, that they have, kind of pulled out, because these are some of the main things that people are wanting to hear, I think, is sandworms now linger for a bit around spice fields that have been recently harvested from. So that's going to make things a little interesting. They've reduced the frequency of Harkonnen attacks on certain Atreides bases and vice versa in the Haga Basin. The main menu Play Now button has been set to filter out private servers. When streamer mode is active, it's talking about some of that stuff. In the exchange, this one's huge, and this one just kind of snuck in there and punched me in the face. When I seen it, I was like, what? That's actually a really good change. In the exchange, items can now be listed from and claimed to the vehicle inventory of your Ornithopter. So even though you can't bring your Ornithopter into the social hub to go to the exchange, it still registers on the drop-down menu like it would in your base, to where you can move inventory to and from it in your base into storage. Same kind of principle. In the exchange, you'll be able to select a drop-down menu that will allow you to pull inventory out of your Ornithopter that you flew there with and put things in your Ornithopter from your exchange. Like if you have stuff that didn't sell and you claim it all again, you can take it and put it in the inventory of that. So that was a really cool little quality of life thing that they just threw in there. And then obviously, the one thing that to me personally means the most, because this changes the whole game for me personally as a PvE focused player, and fixes something that I think that they got ultimately, just wrong right off the start. They finally decided to backpedal and fix this issue. The PvE area near the shield wall has been expanded to cover row A, B, C, D, and half of E within the deep desert. So that basically means that now the structure of the deep desert is going to be half PvE, and then the top half will be PvP. Sounds fine to me, because what that's going to do is that's going to give the PvE players a chance to actually get in there and get some of those tier 6 resources and tier 6 loot drops and gear and all the things that they've been wanting but haven't been able to get in there and get, because they refuse to be held hostage by a mechanic that they didn't want to participate in. It was never fair of Funcom to say, hey, here's Dune Awakening. 85 to 90% of the game is a PvE experience. And then now all of a sudden, after 100, 150 hours in, you hit a wall where it says, now you must participate in PvP or you can't have top tier stuff. That was wrong. That was so wrong. That's never worked in any game, because people don't want to be treated that way, and it was never fair. So this is fair. A lot of the PvP focused people are saying, oh, you're killing PvP, you're coddling the PvE, you're playing to the PvE. Well, what this is actually going to do is this is actually going to make your PvP experience a lot better, if you want to know the truth. If you really want to get down to brass tacks, because the PvP area is going to be smaller, so there will be more encounters. And if that's truly what it is that you want, that you crave, that you say you want, those fights, you're going to get more of them. So that ought to be pleasing to somebody who's a PvP enthusiast, because that's going to mean that your activity level is going to go through the roof. Because now you don't have to cover all of the deep desert to look for one fight an hour. Now you're going to have fights coming at you all the time, because there's less area for people to hide in. What that does for the PvE player is it gives them a chance to get in the deep desert and get some of that too, because the mindset on a lot of my videos has been really frustrating me. I'm not going to lie. The people will come in the comments and they'll say, well, if you're not participating in PvE or PvP, you don't need access to tier 6 gear. Why do you need it? Well, it's not the gear that's the problem, and that's what these people can't seem to get through their head. It's the fact that the PvE players have had their access to these resources locked down behind a mechanic that they may not want to participate in to get them. And that's not fair, because those players cannot build the best, most efficient crafting stations because they can't get the resources they need to do it. They can't build a lot of the items in the game that require spice melange to build because they can't get a hold of it. You can't buy it on the auction house because it's not there. And when it is there, it's too expensive because the risk and reward factor for getting it causes the price to go through the roof, and nobody can afford that. So that's never been an option. So yeah, this is going to be a great change to the end game of the game, the deep desert, and I think it's going to make it better for, both play styles. Whether or not that encourages more PvE to go to the PvP area and engage, I don't really think it'll do that, but it'll at least make those players that feel like they've been shut out and told that they didn't matter feel like they actually matter now, because the game is designed in a way that allows them to have access to it through their chosen mechanic and their chosen play style as well. So yeah, that's going to be awesome to see this take part. And you can go to the public test realm now if you're interested in trying to figure out how that's going to work. I mean, there's so many things that this opens the door to. Now PvE players are going to be thinking about putting a base in the deep desert and where and what's going to be the best, strategy type of thing. Whole nother gameplay opens up now. If you want to go to the public test realm and see how that's going to play out, go for it and try it out and see what you think. That option is now available to you, and that's really cool. So I'm in love with that. Now, as far as the features and changes that are in the rest of this announcement, I'm just going to let you go ahead and go through and read it yourself. Because yes, I could go through here and pick out, some of the main things, but that would be hours, because I know me, and I would have to look at every single thing with you. And I don't think you're here to watch a 2-hour long video. So I'm going to leave it up to you to read this. Just know that it's on their website in news announcements, and you can see the announcement of the public test realm and all the changes that are coming in the big 1.1.10.0 patch that's going to be hitting us soon. So thanks for watching my content. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think and your thoughts about this change to the deep desert. The change to how you can list things on the exchange from your ornithopter. What do you think these kind of things are going to do to your gameplay? Do you think it's going to enhance it? Do you think the addition of this content for PvE players is going to make the game better or worse? Or what's your thoughts? Just keep it civil, because a lot of the discussion has been devolving into somewhere I don't want it to go on my channel. So just please keep that in mind. Thanks for watching my content, though. I appreciate you. I'll see you in another video about Dune Awakening coming soon. Peace.